Hello, everyone. Welcome to Paint the Town Red. This is a brand new game made by SoulMuppet Publishing, and this is a game sponsored by SoulMuppet Publishing. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. We are so excited to show you the content that is available in the Quickstart. You can head on over to their website to access this and see everything that we are engaging in today. We will be running this in a learning environment, so if anyone has questions, feel free to ask. That includes everyone in chat and our players as well. We will learn together. Let's start off with some introductions and go around the table and see what everyone's been up to and where you can find them. Start off with Hamna. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I apologize. I just am coughing, but I'm good.
I love your shirt, by the way. I just need to say that a second time.
It's nice pastel pride situation.
I have a question for you. If you were a undead creature of the night and you had a passion using the mechanics of this game that we will be showing off in a little bit, what would be your passion?
Okay, so I went through and I looked already at the passion list, and there is a section on the passion list called violence and rage. And underneath that section, one of the passions is vigilante justice. And I just think that if I was a undead creature who didn't have to worry about consequences that us mortals have to worry about, that I would be able to help bring about the death of capitalism and white supremacy.
I love it. Very, very in character, on point.
Is that in character?
It lines up with my whole perception of you, so I think so.
Oh, me? I thought you meant like my character for today. I was like, is that?
No.
Character for Hamna.
I forgot that I too am a character.
Aren't we all just characters in TTRPG of life? Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's something to think about.
Ahamna, where can we find you? What have you been up to? Tell us all the things.
You can find me all over the internet at Lilith TTRPG. I am currently on Chris Cologne's channel, Taino Tales, doing a God Killer stream every Thursday night. So we are in the tail end of that for season 1. So if you're interested in seeing, actually hilariously, I am playing a character who's helping bring about a revolution and the end of an empire. So come watch me do vigilante justice over there, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll pop on over to Kendo. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. I love the makeup. It looks very nice.
Thank you. My partner did it for me.
It's so
Shout out Ellis.
Shout out to Ellis.
All right, Kendo. If you were a vampire, what would your passion be?
I also looked through this list right before, and honestly, I'm still kind of like, I feel like if I were a vampire, I would eventually have like a writing like novels or writing like poetry passion, just because you live long enough, you get really sad and you start getting like all of the people around you start dying, and you realize that like everything in life is ephemeral except for like your own existence in it. And so you just get really melancholic, and like, you also get like really like there's like a narcissism that comes with it, because you're like, I'm the only thing that will continue to be a constant in my life in comparison to everything else. So like,
What about the other vampires?
Ugh. Oh yeah,
noted.
They're okay, I guess, but really it's just me brooding in my and like every 100 years or so I come out with a new novel or a new poem. It takes 100 years because that's just the process.
Oh my god.
That was so deep and so detailed and like so thematically appropriate for this game. SoulMuppet Publishing, if you need someone to help you write an expansion, I think you got your person here.
I love horror and game design, so
excellent. Well, speaking of things that you like to do, why don't you tell us about who you are, where we can find you?
Yes, I am Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. I use they, he pronouns. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Kendo Makes Films. And you can find my award winning queer led actual play podcast, Tales Yet Told, anywhere on the internet that matters at Tales Yet Told and wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find me there about every Wednesday over on twitch.tv/Kobold Press doing Kobold Chats because I work for Kobold Press and that's part of my job is doing that. So you can see me there every week talking all things Kobold Press, going over new releases, looking over old books, just, doing all of that fun tabletop stuff. You can, what else am I doing? There's other stuff. There's stuff that's coming out that I'm a part of. Just follow me on the internet and you'll probably hear about what those things are at some point or another.
Thank you very much. We'll pop on over to Quinn. Hi.
Hi, hello. How's it going?
Good. I haven't told you this, but one thing that I really resonate with you is the whole like lowercase name thing, because I also like the lowercase name thing.
Nice.
And like in my head, before it's like, I know you're a homie if you type my name in all lowercase. If you randomly uppercase Stella and then Luna, I'm like, I don't think you really know. I don't know.
I didn't know that. Noted for the future.
Yeah, no, literally.
I did not know that. Yeah.
It's not something I talk about, but yeah, like when I was doing overlay stuff with Quinn had a request to do it in lowercase, and I was like, I see you.
I see you.
Yeah.
Quinn, if you were a vampire, what would your passion be?
Well, I have two answers. I'm gonna cheat. One would probably be the same as my current passion, which is theater, which has been my lifelong special interest, enough that I got a fucking degree in it. And then the fun one from the list, under the occult and weird section, sleeping in other people's graves.
Why not?
Everyone
Wait, I would
needs
like to ask
hobbies.
why. What is the appeal?
You can learn a lot about someone from what they're buried with.
And
What
then
if they're not buried with anything?
Do people still typically get buried with things?
Don't they?
I've only ever been to one funeral. It was my grandpa's, and he wasn't buried with anything, so I don't know. I have no
Okay,
idea.
maybe I am the
We gotta
weird
bring
one
it
here.
back.
I have.
I think we
this
should
might
bring
just
it
be
back.
a culture. This might just be a cultural thing where.
Yeah.
Because I'm
there's
like,
been-
bury me with my books. Like,
Yeah.
And then
least
you
one
could
of them.
write about them after laying in the grave, looking
Yeah,
at
that's
stuff.
true.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, tell us where we can find you, what you've been up to.
In terms of things that I've been up to, most of them are under NDA. That's
Shout
always
out.
fun in plugging
Congrats.
things. Oh, my writing is going to be in the upcoming Paizo Pathfinder expansion. What's it called? Divine Mysteries. Coming out later this year. I don't know if I can talk about what I've done yet, so I'm not going to, but that's exciting. Otherwise, you can find me on the hell site formerly known as Twitter, at Quintastic _. That's Quinn with 3 N's, Tastic _. And I am available for many of the freelance things.
Thank you. Ivan, it's your turn now.
Hi.
Hi. Just before the stream started, we were talking about like forum RP, and I think I found a kindred spirit in that we have same interest. Talking about Gogaya and stuff like that. Yes. What would your passion be if you were a vampire?
Also sliding into the occult and weird, interviews with historians or journalists, because everyone needs to know my messy drama and possibly memory lapses about my vampire boyfriend and his vampire boyfriend and how our boyfriends work together. You know.
That
Very interview with the vampire. I will
Very
say.
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
So good.
Very interview with a vampire.
Exactly what I'm doing.
So good.
Hater.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we are going to go ahead and jump right into it. Let me put some mood music on. Wait, why didn't it start from the beginning? There we go. Dramatic introduction. Something very bad happened to you a very long time ago. You died, and it fucking hurt. You're cursed. You're still here, and you just couldn't stay dead. You're definitely not in heaven. There's a pretty good chance that this is hell. Your heart has basically stopped. You don't need to eat. Your skin is clammy, and your touch is cold as ice. You have to remember to breathe, to blink, to smile. Those are things that people do, right? It'll be all right. Everything will be okay. You can get it together. You just have to find the right place and the right people, and it will all work out. There are other dead people just like you. They're suffering in the same way that you are. The best way to do that would be to find someone who loves you and you love them back. Spend the rest of your life with them. How hard could that be? Finding a soulmate when you might not have a soul at all? Guess it's time for the quick wins. Dancing the night away, drowning yourself in drink and drugs, losing it all at the card table, fighting or fucking until you forget who you are. If you spend too long alone, you might be able to smell the rot in your soul. But the easiest way is blood. Someone else's blood. Your touch won't be as cold as ice after you drink another person dry. You'll feel a little more human. Your heart will beat like it's meant to. So take a sip. Cut loose. It'll be all right. When you're in the moment, you can almost remember what it's like to be alive. And this is a game about dead people who are very sad. They died, and whatever afterlife there is didn't take them. And all of the characters that we'll be playing today are affected by the curse of undeath. Some undead are just sad, but you're a vampire. As a vampire, you're a person who's chasing the sensation of being alive. Every single one of these characters has a passion. They are inadvisable things that make you feel alive again. And you might have some bonds, people who keep you grounded. Drinking blood is something that makes you feel good. It's not a compulsion. It's not some kind of mystical life force or anything like that. It's just another passion here in this world. And in our world, we decided what our banes were by rolling. The only way that someone who's affected by the curse of undeath in our world, custom because this is what we rolled, are three things: filling their pockets with silver coins, burning alive, or severing a limb with a sword made of yew wood. So in the case of our world, getting staked in the heart, no big deal. But if you do flatline, you do reach the cusp of getting destroyed, you might develop a personal bane. But for the sake of our story, those are our three characters. You will see that every character here on the screen has a passion and has their Curse of Undeath power listed underneath their name. We'll go around real quick and touch on what those are. Give us a little introduction about your character, give us a little vibe, and we'll start with Hamna.
Okay. What to start with? Well, my character is Kurilla Barov. He uses she, they pronouns. And Kurilla is, well, I mean, you've definitely heard of her name. You might remember their face, but to be perfectly honest, you won't really remember them very much at all. She is a baron in London, very low nobility. The masses don't really think twice about her, but she's around a lot. But what people don't know, or generally don't know, about Kurilla is that they are, well, they moonlight as something very different. If you've ever heard the name Vacht, that's her. She vandalizes rich people's properties, you know, expensive art pieces, statues, their houses, castles, that kind of thing. That's their passion, is taking something that some rich fuck has collected and put away, and actually giving it some sort of use, some meaning beyond just sitting there in their homes to collect dust. So, that's Cruella for you.
Kendo, tell us about your character.
Yes, well, today I am playing Nicodemus Delamoreau, a French party planner here in London. I am the life of every party that's worth going to in London. If you've heard of it, if you have been there, chances are I've had my fingers somewhere in that pie, and I know it was delicious. The things that make life worth living are my specialty, my profession, and my passion. And, well, if a few people go missing at a party, why is that a problem? Maybe they're off somewhere else, having learned something about themselves, because that's what parties are for. Exploration, debauchery. And no one does it better than Nicodemus Delamoreau in London.
Excellent. Can you tell us about your power of undeath?
Oh, well, my power of undeath is that I'm French. No one can hate me. People just seem to like me and my exoticism because that's what people want, what they do not know and what they can never have.
God.
Bold of you to say that nobody can hate the French.
I'm the only French one that no one can hate.
The only French one.
I'm the only French person no one has ever hated in their life.
You're not like other French girls.
I'm not like other French girls. I'm only me.
Thank you so much. Quinn, please tell us about your character.
So today I will be playing Phaedra, who uses they, she pronouns. Phaedra has been around for a while. I affectionately call them the proto-lesbian, and you will see why. She writes extraordinarily provocative poetry as their passion. Provocative in every sense, politically, literally. They are very prolific, and they've written under many names. Some of them you've probably heard of before. And as for her power of undeath, Phaedra can disappear from a situation that they need to, or want to, or feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll hop on over to Ben. Please tell us about your character.
Oh, you're muted, I believe.
Oh no.
Oh,
Am I?
you're
Oh,
back.
you're good
You're
now.
back.
You're good now.
Oh, that was awful. I had to start over. I'm kidding. I'll be playing Paloma. They started with very rather meager beginnings and stayed from like seamstress and silk weaving into cloth, which weaves into their passion being affairs. And what better place to, you know, stir the pot, cause a little trouble with people's things and clothing and items. And who cares wherever you are because you're undead. Like, you can live forever. Who needs money when you have drama in someone's pockets? Also, check your pockets. They might be a little short.
I have mine sewn shut.
Yeah, we were talking in session 0 about, since one of our banes is having silver coins, having your pockets filled with silver coins, it makes total sense that the undead would walk around with sewn pockets. Easy, not a problem.
We carry a lot of bags with us.
You can't fill my pockets with silver coins if I don't have pockets.
True, true.
So true.
As we play this game, we'll be talking about 2 different resources. They are called Pulse and Chaos. Pulse is how human you feel, and Chaos is how impulsive and dangerous you are, how the environment will react to that. And then each character has 3 different stats: savagery, allure, and duplicity, which, as I put onto the overlay, I realized spells sad, which is so terribly clever, and I love it so much.
So good.
So for example, for Hamna's character, they will have 1 savagery, +0 to allure, and 2 for duplicity. Speaking of pulse and chaos, to start off our game, there are 4 different chapters of a session, and you can see them on the screen right here. The first one is It's All Happening Tonight. And when we start our session of Paint the Town Red, we don't pick up where we left off. We pick up right where the action is, at the start of your night. And here, we're going to see how you're doing. And we are literally going to roll to see what your chaos and your pulse is. So, first rolls of the night, see how bad or how good your day is going. I will need everyone to roll me a 1d6. Let's do our pulse real quick. Feel free to call out the number you roll.
I rolled a 2.
I got a 4.
Okay, 2's very low. 4's good.
6.
Ooh.
Max pulse.
Max pulse.
You're feeling it now,
baby.
Mr. Krabs.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
And I rolled a 4.
A 4. Okay. Ooh. So of those numbers, we have Kendo's character, Nicodemus, has a pulse of 2. Perilla and Phaedra both have 4. And Paloma has a 6. And this is how human you feel right now. And it is also kind of in a way your hit points. When you hit 0 pulse, you will flatline where you kind of get knocked out. Unless you're taken out with a Bane, in which, see ya. But you'll be fine. You just need to take a nap. Have a little blood. You'll be fine. All right. Let's see what everyone's chaos is. Go ahead and roll me another d6, please.
I got a 5.
I also got a 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a 2.
I got a 6.
Oh my god, what are you doing? Okay. The chaos is how dangerous and feral you are at the moment. Okay. So for Perilla, with a pulse of 4 and a chaos of 5, you are currently experiencing high pulse, high chaos. Let's see if we have any combinations that are the same. Nope, everyone's in a different category. Okay.
That's so funny.
Oh no, wait. Hamna and Quinn will be sharing a scene together because you're both high pulse, high chaos. Okay. Let's see. I need you to both roll me another 1d6.
I got a 3.
I also got a 3.
What?
This is so perfect. Okay, so when you have, so there's basically 4 combinations here. You can have low chaos, low pulse, high pulse, high chaos, low pulse, high chaos. When the players are in the same category, they start the scene together. And you both rolled a 3 means you are up in the face of some fucker ready to start a brawl. That is the scene that we're going to be starting for Perilla and Phaedra. But before we get to that, we're going to see where everyone else is sitting as well. So Nicodemus is low pulse, high chaos. Go ahead and roll me a d6, please.
That is a 3.
Okay. You just won a fight and your knuckles are literally worn to the bone. So you are hurt. Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll head on over to Paloma. You have high pulse, low chaos. All right, go ahead and roll me a d6, please.
That's a 2.
A 2. Okay, you are doing a household chore or a job or something. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. It's January 1862 in the city of London. They call it a modern Babylon. There has not been a greater city since Rome at the height of the empire. Millions here live amongst the mud and gin, together in the slums and high-rises. Ships depart to every corner of the world. The sun never sets on the British Empire. The city burst at the seams, and there's more than enough blood for everyone. This is the first time in centuries that the dead gather in numbers in peace without tearing at each other together in war. Queen Victoria and all of her subjects are in mourning. The funeral of Prince Albert is tomorrow. Everyone is obsessed with death. London is soon to be released from a somber mood, and that has lasted for decades. It is the start of an unstoppable growth in London nightlife that will go on for centuries, a sign that traditions are to be cast aside. Go and get it together. It's a big city, and it might be different this time. We're going to open on Paloma. Everyone in this fucking city has been wearing nothing but black. Black dresses, black coats, black lace, black corsets, string, silk, linen. It's all been black in respect to the queen and her late prince. Business has been good, but it's not over, and your well of supplies has run dry. To make things even more grim, a sudden emergency repair request has enigmatically hit your doorstep. And though the details are cryptic and the reward is astronomical, you are certain it's a secret commission for the gown that the queen will be wearing tomorrow at Prince Albert's funeral. So please describe to me what it looks like when Paloma is in her shop and you've just received this package, this paper box that is so illustrious, it's thick. You can just tell from the very texture of it that it's from a place of high privilege.
She's had a couple centuries to be well composed, so it's not that much surprise on her face. It's not a small lift of their lips for a smile to be polite as they just pinch the corner of the ribbon, pull it apart to see the possible commission. And what alterations are we needing today?
So there appears to be some damage on the back hem here. My lady will need it fixed quickly. Tonight, if you can.
Oh, absolutely. I'll put everything aside and we'll have this finished in no time. Perhaps before the night is finished.
Well, excellent. And you see that this person, she's a middle-aged woman, and she's wearing a shroud around her. It's January, it's cold, there's snow outside. But the way that she huddles into it, she hasn't shaken off the snow, she hasn't removed her hood. There's an air of secrecy around her, as if she's trying not to be seen coming into your shop. You see that her cheeks are red and rosy from the cold, and her breathing is a bit flushed as she lifts up a very thick, do they do coins back then? Shit. A thing of money. She gives you so much money, so many British pounds, and slides it across the counter in between.
And just because, why not? They get a little forward, or at least once the hand meets the counter, her hand touches theirs in like a reassuring embrace, with the fingies. Are you okay, dear? You seem a little colder than most.
Oh, yes, I just needed to quickly make my way over here. And she doesn't pull her hand back. It sort of hovers there over a big thing of money. And she looks at you. What do you look
like? I would say Paloma is possibly late 20s, early 30s. Hair neatly presented back so you have the full angles of her face. neatly done, also in black, unfortunately, to follow the customs of the city for now. Um, Gloved hands, very neat. Would you like to stay a little longer, get out of the cold for a bit? I have plenty of space, possibly some coals, and get the fire going.
Oh, um, hmm. She looks uncertain. She looks towards the window. You can tell that she's in a hurry. If you'd like to try to convince her, you can roll a lure here.
Oh my goodness. And that's 2d6?
2d6 plus your allure, which is +2. I feel so big brain putting everyone's stats on the overlay, because then I can just look over and I know what your stats are.
That's an 11.
11, very good. So in this game, for most of our skill checks, we'll be rolling 2d6. It might be different if you have something called the upper hand, or if you're against the odds, which will adjust the number of dice you have. But generally, it'll be 2d6 plus whatever the relevant stat is. And you have to roll a 9 or higher to succeed. If it's an 8 or low, it's a failure. Okay, so you pass here. She hesitates. You can tell that she's very busy. And especially coming here when the sun is pretty low, it's a bit scandalous. It's a bit strange. Someone unaccompanied with such a big box. She says, I suppose I could do some tea.
Wonderful. I'll get that tea started for you. They disappear behind the counter. Little smile, kind of wry.
Let's see. You have a pretty high pulse. You're feeling very good right now. You're feeling the most human you have in a while. What has led you to this moment, this combination of feeling in control with your low chaos, feeling very connected to the people around you?
I think the high volume of customers with the event being the prince's death, more and more have cycled through. They've been in touch with humanity, from like the oldest to youngest. Small things, tears, cuts, patching, and seeing their elation or surprise with how skillful Paloma is has really touched their heart in a nice, humane way.
I love that. So the night will continue on for at least a little while as you entertain this guest in any way that you like. And then we will cut away from this very wholesome scene, something extremely less wholesome. As the camera is panning through the streets of London, we see a great number of people through dirty streets and slums and people living the nightlife. There are cackles of laughter. There are people scowling as they are lowering their heads in mourning here. But we find ourselves drawn to a particular scene. Nicodemus, what happened for you to get so fucked up that your pulse is extremely low and your chaos, how dangerous and feral you feel, is so high?
Our camera finds Nicodemus, shirt torn open, beaten, bloody, like makeup super fucked up. Um Wearing these like kind of flashy golden breeches, um standing over like the body of a man twice their size, surrounded by a crowd of people inside of like this inner courtyard of like of like this almost kind of like it is kind of like an event like area of like there are people who are like sitting down, who were like sitting down eating, drinking. There's a band who stopped playing, and like people like standing on the balconies looking down in this courtyard as I'm standing over this man who had the audacity to barge into my party saying that we should not be celebrating, drinking, doing whatever it is that we're doing because Prince Andrew is dead and we need to show some decorum. Excuse me, if there's any time to party, it is after the death of, I mean, anyone, truly. I mean, one must celebrate the end of life more than one should stay silent and mourn. Celebrate what the prince accomplished, whatever it was, or celebrate what new life can be brought. Don't sit around in your homes crying and weeping for a man you've never met. Go out and drink. And so he came, he saw, he shouted, and he cried as I beat the shit out of him in the middle of this courtyard in front of all these people.
There's
so,
a
yeah.
There's a delicious smear of blood just splattered all across this courtyard as this person is literally dragging themselves away from you, sobbing, weeping. And onlookers, there's a mix of pleasure, there's a mix of elation, and some people are shocked, a bit reserved as they're pulling back. What sort of wounds or injuries have you suffered here? Because you do have a low pulse. They fought back, but you won.
I think like right eye fully like blackened and like starting to like swell over itself, blood dripping from a broken nose, and like my fists are like bloody and like almost how it said, like skin torn almost to the bone, how badly I beat the shit out of this dude.
You, as you are breathing here, feeling the undeath as the only thing keeping you upright, keeping you moving. Feel the weight of the eyes all around you. There's almost a hitch of breath as everyone's just waiting for what's happening next.
As I look around, like slowly like catching my breath, realizing, okay, I'm here, I'm hosting a party, this has happened, how do I keep the good times going? As this guy starts trying to crawl away, and I get an idea, and I go, oh, no, 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 you are not done yet. And I grab him by the ankle of his foot as he's trying to crawl, and I drag him to the stage where the band has stopped playing.
Please,
And I'm gonna
let me go.
and,
And he's like
oh,
crying,
no, no.
scratching, clawing at the ground.
No, 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 no. It would be a shame for you to leave so soon. You've ruined the vibe for all of these people. I know you don't know what a vibe is. A friend taught me that word. And I'm dragging him over to the stage, and I'm gonna like pick him up and I'm gonna sit him on the stage and sit next to him, put my arm over his shoulder, cross my legs. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, everyone. But this one here seems to think that, well, we should all be quiet, or be sad and pouty, because the poor little prince seems to have croaked. Isn't that right?
And he's just trembling, shaking, unable to fight you off, sobbing.
Oh. Well, look, you are going to do us a favor, and I'm going to let you leave. Is that all right? Is that all right with you? Can you do a little favor for me?
Whatever I need to do to get out of here.
Okay. Did you hear that, everyone? He's going to do us a little favor. Now, what you're going to do, and I'll do it with you. I'll start it off with you. I'm going to teach you a song. Is that all right with you? Can you sing?
He's just nodding his head between sobbing.
Good, 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 good. And don't worry, don't worry. Even if you can't, it'll be fun. This is a song from where I'm from France. And it goes, and I'll start it, and you just repeat after me, all right?
Okay.
Alouette, jonte, alouette, alouette, jonte plumerie.
Stella is bad at remembering everything you just said. So what is your intention here? What is the mechanical pursuit?
I'm going to humiliate him in front of all of these people, and I'm going to try to start getting everyone to start singing with me. And part of the humiliation is I don't know if everyone knows this. The song Alouette is about the torturing of a bird. And each verse of the song is a different part of the bird's body. And so as we go on and I teach him the new parts, I'm just going to start slapping him in the parts. So so like as we go to like "Eh la tête," just right over the back of the head. And I'm going to try to start getting other people to do it with me. And so we just start slapping this man like communally until he stops singing and eventually leaves.
All right. This sounds like a savagery roll here. Go
Mhm.
ahead and do a roll for me. Let's see what the pulse of the party feels like.
All right. Ooh, so that is a 5 and a 3 and 8 plus 1. That's a 9.
All right, 9 is a success. You see that the crowd is a little uncertain at first. You have a few regulars. They get it. They've seen this before, and they know how to work a crowd. They immediately begin to join in, and they're pulling on their guests, the people that they've invited to this party. And pretty soon you have almost the entire crowd joining you with this song, and they're laughing and they're shaking. They're sipping on their wine, enjoying the party, and this person just breaks down in front of you. More way than one, and you see that they've become a very small threat.
And as like people are like, I imagine like I'm no longer saying like other people are just saying we've done a couple of rounds already. And as this person is like breaking down, I'm like still next to them. I just want to whisper in their ear, if I ever see you again, either at a party or in the streets or even in the comfort of your own home, know that it will be the last time you see anything. And I'm going to push him off the stage and let him run out.
He runs so fast. You see that the door swings open as he rushes out, leaving the cold air to slowly drift in. It is snowing. And as the camera follows the fleeing form of this person, we find Gorilla and Phaedra in the same spot. You are up in the face of some fucker, ready to start a brawl. What happened? And why are you together?
What happened, Phaedra?
Well, I assume this motherfucker was looking at you a little sideways. And I didn't take kindly to that.
People always forget my station in this whole of British society. I mean, I am rather forgettable in that way, but that doesn't do it all.
Not at all.
No, so I think the if I may, I think the kind of like scene at the moment is that we are like out in the streets and there is this person in front of us who has been like backed up against a wall by the two of us who are kind of like surrounding them and are like very, very close up to them and just kind of I imagine that Gorilla is rather like small in stature, so relatively short, isn't like terribly muscular or anything like that, and so doesn't look like very much of a threat, but their face is currently contorted in this like anger as she and Phaedra are up against this person.
And I think Phaedra is in kind of like a dark suit with black gloves and a cravat. And I think as we're standing here, they remove one glove and begin to loosen the cravat a bit.
I said what I said. And they spit on the ground. What do you think you're going to be able to do about it? This is a older man. We'll say that he's about 40 years old. He's white with very properly trimmed hair. He's dressed extremely well. You don't recognize him. Maybe he's a baron, maybe he's someone of a higher station as well, but clearly a noble, clearly someone who's lived a life of entitlement, and they just don't like the way you look. They don't feel like you belong among their people. And with that, he sneers. What do you want to do? He's not backing down.
Corilla gets closer after this man spits down onto the ground. Corilla gets closer to him and presses up against this man's chest so that he's kind of pushed up and pinned against the wall. And her very soulless but prominent hazel eyes look up at this man. Say that to me again, and you will regret it.
Go ahead and roll me a savagery roll here. Let's see how well you intimidate piece of shit.
Oh, okay. I got a 12.
Holy fuck. So describe to me how you are absolutely able to shake this person to their core. What happens here as you manage to cow this person into never doing something like this ever again?
Quinn, do you want to tag team it? Because I kind of imagine that this is those situations of somebody very non-threatening is trying to threaten somebody, and that's kind of working, but then there's a person behind them who's far scarier. I imagine it's kind of a similar situation where there is something very unnerving about Cruella's whole countenance, the way that their face is contorted, the lack of soul that is behind Cruella's eyes in this very moment. There's just something uncanny valley about it all that perhaps creeps this man out to the point where he's thinking about what is this person, if they're even a person, capable of in front of me. And then over Cruella's shoulder is Phaedra.
Yeah, Phaedra is definitely a bit taller. And I think they remove from their breast pocket a fountain pen. And with their bare hand, they prick their finger on it. It's extraordinarily sharp. It's weirdly sharp. Shouldn't be that sharp, probably. And she is looking this man up and down and saying, I do need new ink for a novel.
Oh. I think this will be a savagery roll here.
That's a 10.
Okay, 10's a success. So describe to me what you do here. Tell me how you make this person run and never come back to this part of town.
I think Phaedra goes to lean against the wall that's next to his head, and brings the fountain pen to his cheek and just kind of caresses it almost gently, so gently, but there's a thin line of blood that emerges.
He screams in pain. You can tell that this person has never, ever lifted a finger to do anything. And here, under this threat of violence, they take it as they're bleeding. They shake almost as if astounded that this could possibly happen to them. And they begin to run. And as they run down the alleyway, you see that there's another person running away from the direction of where Nicodemus is hosting a party.
I clock that and turn to Cruella and go, Nico's having some fun, shall we?
It seems so. Weren't they throwing a party or something tonight?
Aren't they always throwing a party?
That they are. What do you say we see where Paloma is right now? Is she working tonight?
Probably. Let's go fetch her.
Okay.
And I think we will make a little detour to grab Paloma and then take her to Nicodemus's party.
I love it. So, when Corilla and Phaedra come to your shop, Paloma, what do they see?
Surprisingly, a very nice conversation between two older women, or at least the times sound old in conversation. A quaint scene, to level out the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like you're like putting the moves on this woman or anything like that? Like, does it look okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what does your storefront look like?
It's pretty modest. I think it's just something called like the Weavers or some nondescript, despite the infamy surrounding the shop.
You can see through the window panes here that are frosted over with the cold that there is a warm fire stoked within, and Paloma is engaged in conversation with someone. And you see that this person is laughing very lightly, and they touch Paloma's hand. The other is holding a cup of tea.
we kind of like will walk in because we don't see this until I assume we're like inside of the building. So we walk in and there's like the little bell to the entrance that rings to alert you of our presence. And I don't think that Cruella was expecting Paloma to have company at this moment. And so they had actually walked in rather like loudly and gregariously, like door full slam open, like Paloma, darling. And then like over to Phaedra, I think we may have interrupted something.
It does appear that way. Paloma, you hungry? And like kind of the knowing look of like, are you trying to eat this one or fuck this one? What are we doing? Like,
No, I'm just having a delightful conversation, but it seems my friends have come to beckon me.
Oh.
I would love to see you again sometime. My shop has peculiar hours, but I can definitely make time for you.
You see that this individual, they are glowing. Their eyes are bright and shiny, and they have been completely engaged in this flirtatious, very subtle back and forth of pleasant company. They hesitate a bit and they put the cup down. Oh, yes, of course. I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, you please don't be a stranger.
I won't. And she tucks some hair behind her ear as she gets up. You can see that this person, I think by now they've actually taken off the cloak. So they appear to be pretty well dressed. They are very clean. You can tell that they are probably working in a noble house of some sort. And when they pull the cloak back on, you can tell that it's very heavy. It's lined with fur on the inside, which is an absolute luxury. And they bow their head very respectfully to Corilla and Phaedra, pulling up the hood. And they try to slide past you without much more, almost as if trying not to be seen.
I'll allow it.
Very mercifully, this person is let out into the street, and they disappear into the shadows.
You've been busy.
You can say that. Why there? I see 1, 2. Whereas there's usually a third one here.
Party. That's why we're here. Come on.
Party. I'm so surprised. So are we off then?
Yeah, if you need to change or get ready or anything like that.
No, they're still doing this whole black thing, so clothing, black clothing. Just need to make a point there.
Then I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god.
But no, do you guys need anything? I'm sure so many people leave stuff behind, so if you wanted a whole wardrobe change, please have at it. I got this commission happening. I think it's the Queen's. I don't know. Who cares? But
Like the queen.
no, the other Queen.
I don't know. I can't keep up.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Okay, the central one, the important one.
The sad one.
The sad-
Victoria.
thank you.
Victoria, right. Has there been a Victoria? Is this the first one?
Honestly,
just got here.
I stopped keeping track so long ago. These monarchs, they change like the seasons.
Truly, truly.
No, I think I'm okay with what I've got right now, but I was going to ask you, Nicodemus has such wonderful libations at her parties, but as always, missing the cigars. Do you still have...
I can check. Possibly. Let's see. And they just like go rifling again. They collect the other teacup, kind of give it a little, not an inhale, but whatever lingering presence on
Sniff,
it.
sniff.
Yeah.
You can give it a
You
little
freak?
sniff. It's okay. Look, you live for the affairs, right? Like you feast on the energy of this exchange with people. Like it's okay to have a little sniff sniff. It's fine. It's what
Listen,
makes you
we've planted
feel
the seeds.
human.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you feel a sense of elation because you know that this has been a successful encounter and they're definitely going to be back. Not just to pick up the dress, but there was a little something there for sure.
Pick up something else if you know what I mean.
I was literally thinking that.
They do retrieve a box of cigars.
I like to
Yeah.
imagine that Paloma's shop has like everything because of from like the fairs. You probably get so many gifts.
Exactly. These are the oldest, and kind of like put some dust off of it. For your lungs, if you want to destroy them or destroy someone else's.
Right. Thank you very much. And Kurilla will just kind of like take a box, look over at Phaedra. You want one?
It is a disgusting habit, as I continue to tell you.
And we're dead, so what does it matter?
I don't care for the smell.
Well, okay, then I will wait until we are at the party to light one.
And I suppose you'll be sleeping alone then.
And if there was a camera, Kurilla would look into the camera.
Does that mean the bed is open?
It seems that way.
Oh,
We'll
how unfortunate.
see. We'll see.
We can make some room.
Always.
And we walk towards Nicodemus's party. I do wait until we're at the party to light the cigar out of respect for Phaedra's nose.
As we get to the party, I don't have proper party music. I'm so sorry. That was such a throw on my part. We literally have someone
No,
who's
it's
thing is
okay.
parties. Nicodemus, your party has emboldened. Everyone is enjoying themselves and they are thriving. You can feel the pulse of it around you. People are laughing, people are touching each other's arms, and the drink is flowing. What do we see when the other three return, or I suppose arrive to your party?
When the three of you arrive to the party, I think you are immediately hit. Like, you can hear the music, like, several blocks down. And so you aren't necessarily surprised by what you see, but as you enter the courtyard, you do see that Nicodemus, alongside a line of like 4 or 5 other women that they have employed for the night, doing the can along the stage, to like the joy of like everyone else who's like dancing and like and like singing and like and drinking and partying, alongside of it. And like Nicodemus, he's like in the middle of all of them, still wearing like the bursted open like blouse, blouse that he was wearing earlier, but now over his like regular like golden breeches is wearing like a dress alongside, like a long skirt alongside them, and is doing the can with them. And immediately upon seeing the three of you entered, said, "Oh," and like tries to like wave the three of you on stage with them.
I'm running up. I don't know about y'all. I'm running up. And for reference for what Cruella is wearing, because I don't think I've said yet, I think Cruella is wearing like a white, kind of, those like ruffled kind of shirts, and has a black tie on, no jacket, and then like a really long, like full length black skirt as well. So there is a slight deviation from the funerary clothing that we are supposed to be wearing, which is perhaps a little bit scandalous or provocative during these times. But generally speaking, is like sticking to the black custom, and is going to run up and like if whoever is closest to me, whether that's Phaedra or Paloma, I'm like grabbing your hand and pulling you up onto stage with me.
I don't think it's Phaedra. I think Phaedra is
Oh,
very
come
allergic
on.
to dancing.
Oh, come
Then
on.
Paloma, you're coming up. I grab Paloma's hand and
Uh.
I'm dragging you up onto the stage.
They
And
were fine
yeah.
with clapping along, but you know what? Just
Two of your companions are pulled up onto the stage with you, Nicodemus, and the three of you are living it up. Phaedra, what are you doing as you see?
Phaedra's hunting down a drink.
Ooh, I love this. Okay. As you're hunting down a drink, there's all kinds to enjoy. You see that, I imagine, Nicodemus. Actually, Nicodemus, it's your party. Describe to me
Mhm.
what this looks like.
Like the bar itself, or
Yeah.
I'm imagining I'm imagining this is a two-story building. So there is a bar on both the bottom and the top floor. Um, the bartenders for tonight are all wearing they're all wearing oh God, what is it called? A it goes around your waist, you tighten it.
A belt, an apron?
Corset?
No, corset. Yes, they are all wearing corsets. They are all men wearing corsets, no shirt on top, and whatever breeches colors they want, and like boots. And I'm thinking like big hat, big like poofy feathers coming out as well. And like we're stocked with, London's best, but we always bring wine imported from France because who does it better than the French? No one is the answer. So it's like, and we're also like not just like from France. We're also getting like liqueurs from Russia and Ireland, and even the Americas apparently have some liquor that's worth drinking. And so like it's like a bunch of imported drinks and such.
Yeah. So, Phaedra, you have so many things to choose from, so many people to choose from as well. As you're looking over, can you roll me a d12? We are going to roll for a contact here. So, depending on what you roll, I'll give you an A or a B choice, and you get to choose which one. And this person will encounter you at the bar.
7.
Okay. A 7. uh
I'm scared. What is that reaction?
What does that mean? Why'd you
What have I
laugh
done?
like that?
What have I done?
Okay, so 7A, the Lord of Worms. Filthy, naked, impetuous. They live in the Hackney marshes, among the worms and the mud, emerging only to feed on farmers and their cattle. Others suggest they fought as a king during the Saxon invasion, but they instead claim they crawled up dirt, having never lived at all. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I get the reaction now.
Yeah, all right.
And then 7B, the heron. She wades the shallows of the Thames. Thames?
Thames.
She wades the shallows of the Thames, daub on her face. She boasts she seduced Plato, Boudica, and Beowulf. She drinks the blood of fish from the river and has sworn off of mortal flesh. For the people of London are caked with filth from sin. Fish are cleaner. She loves all things, but the new and interesting most of all.
She's a vampire vegan.
He's a vampire vegan.
Vampire vegan.
I'm
who's
gonna
also a lover of Beowulf, Boudica,
And Play-Doh.
and Play-Doh.
I'm gonna go ahead and unfortunately choose for you here for 7B because it sounds like the Lord of Worms is not
Yeah.
at this party.
I was gonna go with the heron, yeah.
Okay. So you see an individual at the bar as you're seeking a drink, and this is an unusual attendant, someone that isn't normally at Nicodemus's parties. You see this very tall, slender person. They have long black hair that almost reaches the floor, and they are wearing this gossamer dark blue, almost black, but it's not, gown here. And you see that it drapes off of their wrists, concealing most of their form. And she is currently drinking a glass of wine, and there is an evident stink of fish around her. She's looking around. She's not looking at you, but she's smiling.
I think Phaedra will waltz up to, not literally, to the the bar, and we're playing it coy, not looking at her, and flags down one of the bartenders and says, "Absinthe, please serve it correctly, darling."
Okay. Forgot one thing. So we have to roll to determine what your relationship is with this person. So you get to choose one of your 3 stats. We'll do a stat check here. So if you want to do duplicity, allure, savagery, as long as you pass the roll, then you get to determine if it's friendly or not.
Okay, let's do duplicity, because I'm good at that.
Ooh, okay.
9, exactly.
Very good. So describe to me what happened in your previous encounter. This isn't the first time you've met the heron, but it was a positive.
Before Quinn answers, I just have a question mechanically.
Yeah.
Does the stat that we choose influence like the nature of the relationship, or no, doesn't matter?
I would say go ahead and like twist it in, but you can choose how it applies.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. I think the heron and I, well, I probably went with Cruella. I probably go with them sometimes for their vandalism. I think we were out for a particularly public one, and we got into a little bit of a pickle, and the heron may have helped us evade the lawmen.
Okay. Yeah. So the heron had given you sanctuary in her favorite haunt of the Thames. And so you were given insight to her abode. There is a small cave nearby where you were able to wander into, and it would have been elaborately established. And you would have, especially with your eye for art and Cruella's eye for destroying art, you would have seen that there was a great collection in this cave. Rugs that are of newer fashions, paintings of artists you haven't seen before, and just an overall patron interested in the newer and the most interesting things. So definitely eclectic tastes.
Mm-hmm. And I think once they've ordered Phaedra, without looking at them, I'll just kind of go, add anything new to the collection recently?
Oh, yes. And the heron isn't looking at you. They are looking down at their glass, but her body is angled close towards you, enough that you can hear her soft voice. She's still smiling, and you know her to be a very passionate person. You know her to be a very wise person. She says, "In fact, this one might be of interest to you. It is more of a rumor than actual art."
I do love a good rumor.
Don't ask me how I know, but I came across a rumor that Froome found something that should have stayed in the ground. You would know Froome to be a weird undead that's thousands of years old, that is obsessed with architecture. From a time that your ancient mind can remember, sorry, nope, there was mention of a cursed painting called The Hand, which is said to have been possessed by the soul of a dead god. It's said that anyone living that ever beheld it suffered a brutal and violent death soon after. No one knows where Froome got it, but I think you and I can both agree that Froome is likely to try to sell it.
Phaedra looks like a kid on Christmas. And are you interested in procuring it for yourself?
She swirls her wine. It's a bit archaic for my taste, but I do want to have a look.
I think I do as well.
Do you think you can go get it for me?
I should be able to arrange that, yes. Where is Froome hanging out now these days?
That's a great question. We are going to look over at the haunts. What's very helpful with this quick start is there is an adventure attached to Paint the Town Red where they have their own setting, and they have various haunts, lurks, and hollows. She's going to say that last I heard, Froome is, unfortunately, hanging out with Vesuvius Sulficus. You would know that Vesuvius is a long-dead Roman senator, and the TLDR is that he throws parties. And you know that his home is basically like a never-ending party.
And Phaedra's face sours at the mention of Vesuvius. That bastard still owes me 20 gold from the Roman Empire.
Oh. Well, 2 birds, I suppose. 1 fish.
2 birds.
In exchange, I would like to give you something. Procure this painting for me, and I'll introduce you to a particularly friendly bird.
That sounds delightful. You have a deal.
Her eyes shyly cut over to you, and you see this very deep red. She smiles at you. And slowly, she begins to drift away, almost gliding across the floor.
Sorry, Quinn.exe stopped working because I got a little gay there.
Whammon.
Women.
Woma.
Woma.
Woma. Ha Woma. Yeah, Phaedra also gets a little gay and sippy of the absinthe.
It's delicious. You know, Nicodemus only has the best stuff and only has the best hands preparing it. We'll say that the dance on the stage comes to an end. You hear a roar from the crowd. The pulse is high. You're feeling it.
Yes, and I think as like the women go back to like the various suitors and gentlemen who have paid for their time, after the dance they run off, leaving the 3 of us kind of here by the front of the stage, and I go, Krilla, Paloma, it is so good, kisses, and like goes to like do the like the side like cheek kisses for both of you, if you'll allow it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think at this point as well, Krula kind of like looks over at the scene. Is there any like remnants of the fact that you would like beat up a man publicly in this area? Like, is there any tells that like of what went down?
I mean, I think there's still the stains of blood on the ground from where I beat him to a pulp. And where like of course like I did as well, and I'm like I still like I haven't like gone to clean myself, like I still have like a swollen right eye and like blood that's like stained my broken open like top. Like I obviously look like something has happened, you know.
Yeah, and especially because you have low pulse right now, you you look visibly hurt. So you've been dancing with
Mm-hmm.
someone who looks visibly hurt. There are actions that you can take to raise your pulse if you want. Because remember, once you hit
Ooh.
0 pulse, you flatline.
Yes, so true, so true, so true. What are the actions I can take to do that?
Yeah, so with the Chaos Pulse actions, you can do things to manipulate them. You can try to live as a mortal, indulge in a passion, or spend time with a bond. You currently don't have any bonds. You can try to go
Mm-hmm.
look for one if you want to make one. We don't start the game with any bonds.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think me further indulging in the party and the dancing would count as indulging in my passion?
You know, I think that would. I'll be honest. The entire time I've been trying to find what dice we roll in
You're
the
so good.
PDF. I couldn't find it off the cuff.
For
Uh,
the downtime actions, right?
yeah. I'm not quite sure what we roll
Um,
here, but if we're following here, we'll just do a roll a 1d6. We'll just keep it simple.
okay.
Because you have definitely been leaning into the party, especially with the public humiliation of this person.
Mm-hmm. That's a 4.
Okay. So we'll raise your pulse by 4, bringing you back up to max. So I think over the course of the dancing, especially throwing it in, hosting for your friends here, we can see, like, actually describe it to me. How does this manifest? You can take total creative liberty. What does invoking your passion look like here?
Yeah, I think like I mean, I think by the time that you all showed up, like I was very obviously still like I was like a couple of drinks more in than when the camera first saw me. And I think like the difference from the almost like frenzied, wide-eyed, like almost like constantly like breathing through my mouth as to like just because I was just like so adrenaline rushed and like kind of hunched over. But now it's like the frenzied eyed look is gone. It's kind of glazed over in like a rush of drink and other substance that has happened here at the party, and is like just like truly living in it right now. Like seems just like not focused. My focus is on everybody else at the party and making sure like, hey, do you have a drink? Do you have food? You know, are you kissing? You making out over there? You groping? Like, what's going on? I'm making sure like subtly that everyone has something that they're doing that they can be indulging in that isn't sitting by themselves in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like as even while we're talking, I'm very like I'm not distracted because I am still focused on you, but as we're going, like I am like checking in on people that were passing by.
I did find it. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
what we do is you roll a 1d3 pulse, and you gain that much, and you gain 1 chaos. So we'll just assume you got the 3,
So yeah,
the
got it.
max roll there. So your pulse will now be at 5, and you gain 1 extra chaos, which brings you to max chaos. And then you
Okay, so my
choose one of the following. I'll go to the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose. A mortal realizes you're undead. A mortal dies. Make trouble with a faction. Annoy a contact. Piss off a rival. Agree to a job. Hurt a bond. Or meet someone new and they fucking hate you.
I feel like the most appropriate thing for this is maybe make trouble with the faction, because I did let that dude go.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know who the factions are, but yeah, I think there's someone who is not necessarily happy that there is this huge party the night before um the funeral of Prince Albert.
Okay, I love it. Yeah. So that person's out of your mind, out of sight, out of mind. Something is brewing in the background. You are now at max chaos, so you are just feeling absolutely feral. You're just feeling reckless. You want to smash things. You want to have fun. You want to live your best life here. And you all see that Nicodemus does visibly look much better than when you first came in.
So yes, Cruella, Paloma, tell me, how are you? I'm so glad you were able to make it. The drinks, the food, anything that you need. What is going on, my beautiful friends?
I guess the better question is, how are you? You seem covered in revelry.
Oh, I am fantastic. You know, it is just another party, another day to just bask in all that life has to offer us. And yes, I am a bit disheveled at the moment. Someone thought they could try and squander all the fun, but I've sent them on their way, and the party has continued and honestly even risen to greater heights due to his rather unwanted infiltration.
I only lament that we weren't all here in order to engage in the revelry with you. It seems like you could have used it.
Oh, trust me. This is nothing. I will be looking at just like my normal self come tomorrow morning, but I must show off the scars of battle, you know, just to let people know that I had a good time, I guess. I don't know.
No offense, but perhaps you should leave the poetry to Phaedra. Those scars are quite
Oh,
heavy.
oh, sure, fine, whatever.
Speaking of Phaedra, you do see Phaedra over by the bar.
Oh, there they are. Come, Phaedra. Yes, welcome. And I do again the cheek kisses if you'll allow it.
Phaedra does it, but like is rolling their eyes while it's happening.
You didn't join us for the dance.
No, I didn't.
Come on. Why won't you get up there and show the world your stuff?
Because I rather like drinking, Nico, and I hadn't had any yet.
Oh, you could do both.
No, I am not one for multitasking, you might say.
You can
So
always do
boring.
both. And I think at this point, like, Cruella has, like, one of the cigars that has, like, cut it and, like, has it lit. I noticed that you were speaking to the Heron. How did that go?
Well, they had quite an interesting lead for us.
Lead? For what?
And then I will explain all of the stuff about Froome and the curse painting and Vesuvius.
Yes. So Vesuvius Suffius is a long dead senator who lives east of Regent's Park in what is called the London Colosseum, designed to be a makeshift museum to remind Vesuvius of home, built in the style of the Roman Pantheon. You know that some of the weirder and more artistically inclined undead hang out there, and many of them are employed to illustrate the infinite alcoves of this place. And it's always a party.
Oh,
You know, I've never actually been inside Vesuvius's... Can we call it a house? Museum?
Eyesore.
dungeon. A
I
self-made
hear.
prison to his own hubris.
Pit.
Nico, that sounds rather cross.
Oh, come on. We all know it's true.
Well, we don't because we've never been there before.
Vesuvius
heard.
has no taste.
No, he
Never
doesn't.
has, never will.
No, just like self-loathing himself and his past histories or accomplishments or whatever. Who cares? They're dead and gone. Get over it.
As you're having this conversation, another vampire who's just a regular at your party comes up to the bar and says, popping a grape into their mouth, are you talking about Vesuvius? I heard they're going to be throwing a party tomorrow after the funeral. And then they walk
Party?
off.
Aren't you throwing a party tomorrow after the funeral, Nicodemus?
Yes, not only am I throwing a party, it is the most official of after parties because I'm being commissioned by the queen herself. That bastard thinks he has the right to do another party at the same time as mine.
Nico, don't work yourself up too much.
No, no,
Or
no, no.
do.
Fuck him. No, fuck him.
I'd
Fuck
rather
him.
not.
No, okay, yes, not in the good way. I mean in the way where you take a pike and shove it up his tiny sphincter, right where the
That still
stick
sounds
that's
like the
already
good way.
there.
Thank you. We are.
No, through the head too, and not the good head, the other head.
That still sounds good to me.
Oh, come on.
Well, I suppose since you have a bone to pick with him and I have a bone to pick with him, we could steal the painting and his money and ruin his party all in one go.
We should burn his house down as well while we're there.
No,
That
no,
seems
no.
a
We're
little
not
dramatic.
burning it.
No.
I would like to enhance it.
Enhance it. I think flames would be a rather good enhancement to whatever he has.
Well, that's
going
no
on
fun
there.
for me.
Flames will get us
Okay.
run out of town, and we've not been here long enough for that now, have we? Don't
think,
pout at me.
It should be framed a certain way. People got too passionate in their mourning, and the revelry went too high and so did the flames. It was such a tragedy.
Political messaging left on the walls.
Of a burnt down building.
We can't burn it down. Nothing remains on a burnt down building.
Oh, come on. Okay, fine. We can leave the walls.
We can burn it down when we're ready to move on, I think.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
As long as we destroy
Think about
everything,
this,
I'm good.
Nicodemus.
Yes.
We decorate the place with messages that suggest that oh dear, Vesuvius seems to have particular feelings, anti-monarchy feelings, and well, any party that he throws after the funeral of Prince Albert then gets framed in a specific light, don't you think?
Okay. I'm liking this public humiliation, shaming of his character.
And then your party, being the more official and more respectful of the two in that way, becomes, well, the only party worth going to.
Fine. As long as at some point I can fuck in the ashes of his home, yes. I mean later.
Give it a couple
if we burn,
decades.
yes, I mean when we burn it later.
Rome wasn't built in a day and all that.
Yeah, but it can be destroyed in one.
It almost was with Nero.
I heard.
Charming gentleman, really. He gets a bad rap.
Hmm.
Couldn't play the violin for shit, though.
Most people can't.
It's so true.
I think I could if I tried.
Oh, of course you could, darling.
Have you ever played a string instrument?
No. But I worked with clocks before, and I mean, it's the same thing, right?
You're very
it?
good with your hands. It's the timing and you would figure it out, I believe.
She's decent with her hands.
Oh, well, I don't know. I seemed a little bit more than decent last night.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on. We all know you fuck. Why are we pretending? What
There's
is
no
this?
dancing around it.
We've
We
all
understand.
fucked. Why are we pretending like it hasn't happened?
I am a virgin, actually.
That's categorically untrue.
No, the dictionary was altered today.
I didn't know you could make up entire words different. Sorry, you're better with
Well,
words.
Phaedra is the
Clearly.
writer
Oh,
among
I
us,
understood
so
when I was-
I
I
feel like
am-
if somebody could.
12 drinks in. Give me a break.
That's not enough.
I agree.
And I think immediately Gorilla turns around, like grabs another, like off of somebody else's, like out of somebody else's hand, like grabs a drink and just gives it to Nicodemus.
Thank you.
And
Throws
as
it.
the group of you begin to enjoy some drinks as you're starting the hatching of a plan. And with that, we will move over into downtime. But before we move to downtime to see how we can go about this plan, we're going to take a quick break. So please join us in doing a little stretch, getting some water, a little snack, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Bye, everybody. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. We are going to open up on a cutscene. We see the form of a person fleeing through the streets. They are bloodied, they are crying, their face is absolutely destroyed. You see snot and viscera forming a single river of fluid down their face. Their clothes are ripped. Their face is pink from being slapped multiple times. And as they're cutting through the city here, they're dodging between alleyways and they make their way over towards the river. There is a boat held up on the riverside, and we don't quite see the details of it yet. It is shrouded in shadow, and as this person stumbles onto the dock, looking up towards the boat, there is a figure wearing a wide-brimmed hat that turns to face them, wearing a long coat with shaggy hair. They make eye contact, and they begin to speak of something unusual that happened in the city. But that is not where you're at. You are preparing for something else. As we're moving into downtime, this is the perfect time for us to hatch our plans, lick our wounds, whatever it is that we want to prepare as we're moving into the next phase of this story. With downtime, there are a number of different actions that we can take. There are social actions, quest actions, and chaos pulse actions. We can either manipulate our stats here, our resources here, or we can try to do a couple of things. We can try to meet someone new, investigate a location, seek some new power, form a bond, find a passion, or deal with our chaos and our pulse. Currently, we have 2 characters at maximum chaos. That's Nicodemus and Phaedra. You are losing control here. You are feeling it. The passion of everything that's going on, it is inspiring you. You're at new heights of your most absolute feral self. Gorilla, you're not far behind, and Paloma, perhaps this is the most grounded you've been in a while. All of you are relatively healthy. We have a pulse of 4 with Gorilla and Phaedra, but Nicodemus looks very well at 5, and Paloma is untouched at 6. We will go through and essentially choose our different actions of what we want to do here in the downtime. You'll essentially have to prepare to make your way over towards the London Coliseum. You've never been there before, most likely, or at least you haven't been there in a long time. I don't think that any of you have gotten invitations. It's not really your stomping ground, especially because it's in direct rivalry with Nicodemus. So let's see what we get up to. The night is still young, and we have some time to kill. Gorilla, what would you like to do? You can meet someone new, investigate a location, seek some new power, form a bond, find a passion, or try to manipulate your resources.
Since Cruella is not really the social type, I mean, there's a reason that they keep to the lower echelons of nobility, just enough to get access, but not enough to really need to do the whole song and dance with everybody. But what Cruella is good at is the sort of more sneaky side of things. And so I would love to investigate a location, and specifically, I would like to investigate the London Coliseum without like infiltrating or going inside or anything. I just want to scope out the place, try to figure out who are the characters that are usually here. What does the building look like in terms of like exits, entrances, security, that kind of thing, just to help us be prepared for the heist that we're about to pull off.
Okay. Sounds like you are trying to invoke your city here. So we'll need a stat check of 2d6 plus your 2 that you have. If you pass, you'll make a good impression. You're very likely to meet someone there, and you'll get this information too.
I got a 12.
That's very good. All right. With a 12, you make your way over towards the Colosseum. You meet someone there as you are scouting out. You'll get all of the information, the best vantage points, the ways in and out, any kind of security, everything that you need to feel comfortable getting in and out of this place when you're ready to hatch your plan. But on top of that, you bump into somebody. You will make a good impression on them. What do you imagine the scene is like when you bump into this person? Are you scouting the grounds? Are you actually inside? Paint a picture.
Cruella is, when scouting, dressed differently, is dressed down a bit in all completely black, trying their best to look very unnoticeable, just kind of blending in with the crowd, and doesn't look like she is of nobility, but just looks like maybe like a guild member or something like that, somebody who's more of a tradesperson. And I think she is kind of at the entrance of the London Coliseum at this point, very clearly like without invitation but wanting to be there kind of vibes when I bump into somebody. And I think the idea is that Cruella is trying to ingratiate themselves to this person to see if they can acquire invitations not only for themselves but also for the rest of the party.
Okay. You, as someone who's part of the undead, when you make eye contact with someone, you are instantly able to tell if they are undead as well. It will literally give you goosebumps when you make that eye contact. When you meet this person, they are not undead. They are among the living. And you can see that it's just someone standing outside. They are currently smoking a cigar. You see that they are dressed like an artist, someone who is embracing their artistic form, their creativity. They are dressed in asymmetrical black clothing, and you see smears of paint on their person. We'll say that they have quite a bit of an androgynous look to them, and they have pulled back hair. It seems it is probably long, but it's pulled up very tightly into a bun. It is this very rich, dark brown color, and they have tan skin. They watch you, and they quietly smoke on this cigar. I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Cruella turns to look at this person, and there is this sort of practiced face of surprise that she puts on. No, I haven't really ever been invited into one of Vesuvius's parties or anything like that, but I've just heard so many things about the artwork in here. And, well, I'm not really much of an artist, but I hope to be one day. And I really just wanted to get a chance to see it, to study all of it, And even if I can't go inside, I just wanted to be in its presence.
There's something about your approach here that hooks their curiosity. They don't reply right away, but slowly they begin to close the distance. You feel the cold night air rushing on you, and as they're moving forward, you feel the heat of their body. The only way that you could feel of a mortal in your presence here, especially with the surrounding cold. And they're shivering a little bit. You're able to pick up these minor details as they're smoking outside. Well, what sort of medium are you into?
All sorts, really. I enjoy painting. What I like to do is I like to take versions of different uh, imitations of different wonderful works and then to add my own little touch to them.
I see. Well, I am more of a crafter myself. Prefer to mold things of clay and into stone, paint them with faces and images of places I've been.
That
You-
sounds amazing.
You want to go inside?
It would be an honor to.
Hey, let's do a roll here. It sounds like you're leaning more into the duplicity.
Yes, I am trying so hard.
Yes. Go ahead and roll when 2d6. Actually, you said that you put on a costume for this, right?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll consider you having the upper hand. So what this means is you
Ooh.
get to roll 3d6, but you essentially drop the lowest of the 3. So, and you only add 2 of them together, and then your stat bonus.
Okay, so I got a 10.
Okay, that is a success. This person looks you over curiously. You can tell that they haven't done this before. There's a nervousness in the air, and they simply shrug their shoulder, say, "Come with me. If anyone asks, you're my assistant."
Of course, yes. Please lead the way. And if it's not too much trouble to ask, would it be possible to get some colleagues in as well? Different kinds of artists of their own type.
Hmm. You see that their face gets a little crestfallen, and they think on this and say, "Let's see how well you do first."
And Kurilla will nod and allow this person to lead them in, and they will follow.
Okay. So you get a sneak peek, essentially, of the interior of the London Coliseum here. And it is much like the rumors say, there are pockets of people occupying every throng of this building. You see that there's music, there's drink, there's food, there's people fucking in random places, there's art being made. It is quite lively. It is something not quite on the level of Nicodemus's party, but in the same category. And you know that if Nicodemus sees this now with how high her chaos is, it is going to be interesting. So
Yeah.
effectively, they pull you through, and this person who identifies as Smith will essentially bring you to a pottery table, and they begin to make art with you. Go ahead and roll another. Yeah, I would say duplicity would work here because it does also include dexterity. Let's see how well you do. They're basically going to test you on art stuff.
Man, I did get a 10, so.
Okay, that is still a success. So describe to me what this looks like as you're going through this. They're trying to see if you're an actual artist or at least an art enthusiast, and just throwing you into the deep end.
So I think the way that this works out is that Kurilla had claimed to be specifically a painter and not a like pottery maker or like a crafts person. And so they do like kind of like a good enough job like on purpose where they follow the basic principles that they have learned over the years regarding like how to make good pottery, and I think she makes this like very simple like bowl with like a sort of like a ridged lip on it, and there is like slight imperfections to it that make it look like it is made by like an amateur, like a hobby pottery person, basically.
Okay. Yeah. You find that they're not entirely impressed, but it's good enough. And they are curious about what you could possibly do. So by the end of like, let's say like 2 hours that pass by, Smith says, "All right, I'm curious. I want to meet your friends."
I'm so glad that you said so. And I can assure you that if you were to see my paintings, you'd be far more impressed than this. This isn't exactly my medium.
Well, the night is young. Still have plenty of time to see what you're made of.
Let me call on my friends and so that they can enjoy the art in here, and then perhaps we can test each other's skills.
With that, Smith will say, "I'll see you soon," and begin to wander back into the building.
And Kurilla will go to wherever the rest of the crew can be known to be found to gather everybody.
Okay. So meanwhile, this is happening. We'll pop on over to Nicodemus. What would you like to do for your downtime action? Remember, you are
Yes.
so feral.
Yes.
You want to light shit on fire.
I would love to meet someone new.
Ooh, okay.
I am looking through I think my party is obviously still going tonight. And so amongst my guests, I know there has to be someone um tied to um certain organizations that may be more willing to help perhaps cause a little chaos tomorrow. You know, it's the late 1800s in London. I'm sure there's some anarchist cells somewhere who would be willing to lend a hand to fuck some shit up on the night of the funeral of Prince Albert.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, like we did earlier, you're going to roll a d12 and then I'll tell you your
Okay.
2 options.
D12 or 2d6?
D12. 1d12.
D12. Okay, give me 1 second while I find a D12. Found one. That is a 9.
9. Okay. 9A is the glutton. Voracious, grasping, vicious. He sits in a gilded cage of his own design, swelling with blood and his own bitterness. He has eaten well over the centuries. He supped on Roman nobles coming out to the Outer Empire, on the Norman ones that invaded a millennium later. He's a self-contented little leech. So that's the glutton. And then 9B is Magha, entitled, self-important, generous. He claims he was Mansa Magha, king of Mali, son of Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. Now he drinks coffee and smokes opium in a palace overlooking Regent's Park. So that's near the London Coliseum. He'll let you join him, but only if you listen to his stories about the good old days and don't say a bloody word.
A bore. But is closer to where we need to be. But I do so enjoy my times with the glutton. I think of the people who may more than likely be easier for me to access at this particular moment, I'm going to say it's probably the glutton.
Okay. So
Plus, he's already well versed in killing Romans. So.
The glutton has made a rare appearance to your party. You know that he prefers to be comfortable. He doesn't want to be out and about. He likes his luxuries to come to him. But on this night, a rare night, he's decided to take in the breath of the city. And of course, he's been here. He is essentially going to be taking up a VIP corner of your party, and
Of
he's
course.
kept to himself, watching over the party, those that wander by, and his eyes bore into anyone that gets a little too close to his corner. You know that he's very self-important, and there's a despicable look when someone dares to look at him.
Mhm.
They aren't worthy.
Mhm.
How do you approach?
When I come to approach the glutton, I bring one of the men and one of the women that I have employed for the night. Both of them have I've given them like these red almost kind of like sheer cloth veils to put over their eyes so that they can't directly like they can't like share eye contact with them.
Yeah.
And I bring both of them over like daintily wristed. I'm like, oh, Glutton is so good to see you again. And I kind of like push them in his direction to like, kind of get him a little bit more sensual, maybe lower the guard down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. This approach sounds like you were appealing to the allure of the party. Let's go ahead and do an allure check here.
Okay, so that is 2d6 plus 2 here. That's a 6 and a 3. That's a 9 plus 2 is 11.
Okay, very good. You see that the glutton gets very comfortable. It's a middle-aged man, and he has thin brown hair pushed away from his face. His clothes could use an update. You can tell that they are out of fashion. It's very likely because the glutton is someone who keeps to themselves. They're not really keeping up. This is an older suit that's been pulled out. It's black, just like everyone else is wearing. And he spreads out his arms on the lush couch, welcoming the company. He lets them wander their hands wherever they want to go, but he doesn't seem altogether impressed. You know that this is just a look. If he wasn't impressed, if he wasn't having a good time, he would leave. Nicodemus, it is good to see you again.
Same to you. Yeah, may I? And like I go to like I'm offering like the double the cheek kisses again. Like so good to see you. I'm so glad you can make it. When I heard that you had RSVP'd, I had to make sure you had the perfect viewing spot, the perfect drinks, the perfect wait staff, and of course, the perfect company.
And as you lean forward, he doesn't pull away or anything, but his response is very minimal. He is trying to just be comfortable here. And as he leans back into his seat, he looks casually out towards the party. Yes, it is fine. I have no complaints.
No complaints from you is like a heavenly message brought down from above.
It is, isn't it?
Of course, of course.
Sit. Join me.
Of course. And I pull up like a little like short stool and I am going to place it like in front of him rather than like sitting on the couches beside him. But it's not a stool that puts me necessarily at his height. I am like a little bit like below from where he is.
You are perfectly playing into his sensibilities. You know exactly what you're doing here, and he is eating it up in every sense of the word. He looks at you, and there is appreciation hidden in his undead eyes. And he will go on and begin to make small talk, talking about the various people that have passed by. His only complaint is someone looked at him for a little too long and he didn't like that, that person will be properly punished later. He's sure of it.
Oh, of course. Like I ask, like for I go like, who was that? Just like to make sure, just so I can make sure I'll have a word with them, or I'll have my security have a word with them.
Good. While I have you, there's something that I need. Perhaps you will know someone that can help with my trouble.
Oh, of course. I know if there's anything I know how to do, it's how to solve a problem.
He says that he needs someone to clean the vaults of filth that lie beneath his den.
Oh, of course. Oh, I know the best sewage cleaners this side of the Thames. Trust me. Just let me know when you want them to be there, and they will be done before the day is through.
Excellent. Well, what can I offer you in exchange? Unfortunately,
Oh,
I was hungry and I ate my last servant, so I don't have anyone to help me with my problem.
understood. Understood. It's so hard to find good help that isn't also delicious. Am I right?
He
Oh,
has a disgusting laugh, by the way.
yeah, I can.
It's just greasy. It's just absolutely insidious.
Yes, yes. Well, let's see. I mean, something you can help me with. Well, now that you mention it, I have heard word that there is a party tomorrow. One that, there was, of course, the after party that is happening due to the loss of our dear, dear Prince Albert. May he rest in peace.
He just like dismissively waves a hand.
Yeah, of course, of course. But I mean, well, you know Vesuvius, right?
He waves a hand again. Too loud.
My thoughts exactly. So loud, so crass, so indignant.
Hmm.
He's having a party tomorrow at the same time as mine. And well, let's just say I I don't appreciate it. I'm sure you understand.
Go ahead and roll me an allure check here as you try to persuade the glutton to do something about this.
Mhm, mhm. Oof. That is a 6 plus 2. That's an 8.
Okay, so there is a mechanic for this. If there's a roll that you don't like, you can get the blood running. Let's see. After a stack check, but before the GM narrates the outcome, you may re-roll any of numbered dice used in the check. For each die re-roll this way, you gain 1 chaos. I'm going to say because you're already at max chaos,
Uh-huh.
you will have to up the ante. You will have to just lean into the bloodthirst. You'll have to
Oh, I can
absolutely do something about it now.
do that.
If you want to re-roll.
I think as I'm going to ask this question, as like the two other companions that I've brought for him explore his body, as the place that I've positioned myself in front of me, I lean out a hand to place on his knee. And like as I'm talking, I too begin to uh move further down his thigh, closer towards his waist, and also begin to explore his body alongside them.
Chef's kiss. Perfect. Okay, you can re-roll as many dice as you want.
I'll be re-rolling that one I roll.
Okay.
Hey, that's a 5, so that makes that a 10 plus 2, a 12.
Okay, you find that in your request, there is a hesitance. There is a hitch where he seems unsure. But then you decide to take it a step further. And as you do, he leans back. He gets comfortable. And he
Oh.
says, "Of course. We are friends, after all.
The best of friends. As I too lean over.
And then we'll move on over to Phaedra. What will be your downtime action?
So I am also at max chaos, but I think Phaedra wants to indulge a passion.
Ooh, okay. Indulge a passion. That is a chaos pulse action.
Mm-hmm.
To indulge in your passion, we need you to roll a d3 -1. Sorry, it's just a d3.
Okay. That is a 2.
Okay, so you'll be able to raise your pulse by 2 and get 1 chaos. Let's see. Okay. What do you do here to paint a picture as you're indulging in a passion? Which passion?
Gonna be writing poetry. I think Phaedra finds kind of a more dimly lit corner of the party, and produces from like somewhere in their jacket, a like leather-bound notebook that she always has on them. And I think she is feeling particularly impassioned, talking about Vesuvius and everything, the Romans. We're thinking about the past quite a bit. Thinking about a certain ex, the ex girlfriend.
Ooh.
And I think she goes to write yet another piece about not knowing why that ended badly, for them at least, and why Sappho had to abandon her at the end.
Can you tell me what this looks like as you're writing poetry at max chaos? Also, just edging past that with additional chaos here, right? I don't imagine it's just sitting down in a corner. Maybe that's how it starts.
It starts that way,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think Phaedra works themselves up about it. And I think they're also drinking much more quickly now. And I do think that she uses like the blood of their enemies to as ink
Mm-hmm.
in that same overly sharp fountain pen that we saw earlier.
Okay.
And they're eventually like, she starts crying, but it starts small, and then it gets a little bit louder, and then there's some wailing.
I love this. Go ahead and roll me a d12. Let's see who notices.
Oh no.
Phaedra's just out here drunk crying at the club.
This is a party. Come on, stop crying in the corner.
That's a 10.
Okay, a 10 will be... 10A is Franklin Fletchman, driven, rational, relentless, a natural philosopher and man of science, attempting to investigate the aims and origins of the curse. He performs experiments on himself and other undead, studying the effects of flatlining and how they reform after injury and mutilation. And then 10B is Alberich Bontegern, mournful, haunted, raging, and undead, filled with self-hatred, obsessed with killing others of his kind. This largely silent hunter is said to be one of the kings of the Britons from the Dark Ages. He travels from city to city across England with a cart filled with banes, rooting out the dead wherever they are found. So you can choose which one you want here.
The second one does sound fun and dramatic.
Okay. Let's say that you are overwhelmed with this writing. You find that it's beginning to make an impression It's changing the atmosphere immediately around you. People are starting to get kind of bummed out. And they are moving away from you. And as the party is pulling away, it's kind of noticeable. You notice it. And let's say you decide to exit the party, because you can see at the same time Nicodemus is doing something, making a move, right? Busy. And yeah. So
Phaedra's a vibe killer.
just right now, you step outside. And as you step outside, you're still crying. You are full of emotion. You find a shadow in the alleyway. As they turn around, you feel those goosebumps. You know exactly who this is. This is a type of hunter, someone who has banes in their possession. They have powerful items that can undo the undead, break the curse. They turn around to look at you. You can see that they are smartly dressed in a suit, tailored perfectly, and they are bald. There's a haunted look on his face. His eyes are mournful, deep and hollow. And this is not the right song. He looks at you, and there's a moment where the two of you locking eyes, there's an electricity. How would you like to approach this? And what do you want to roll?
Think fast, Quinn. Think fast.
There's no rush.
He's got a lot of bands on him, huh?
I will say, just above table, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to go straight to here's a threat.
Mhm.
There is a moment here where you can craft a narrative depending on what you want to choose. Like if you choose savagery and you attack him, like I think that kind of leans into it. But he stops, he pauses, he beholds another undead person, you, crying, heartbroken. He's thoughtful.
You on the hunt again?
I am.
Was it for me this time?
Not tonight, though that could change.
What if I told you that there was a different party with a different undead who's been rather irritating to several of my friends and I for quite some time? And I think it would be interesting if you were to take him out tonight.
You see Bontegurn's eyes narrow. He has behind him his famous cart. It currently has a tarp pulled over and there's snow collected on it, which means he hasn't accessed it yet tonight. His fingers twitch where they're holding the cart. You can hear the leather squeaking of his gloves. What do you want to roll here?
Allure?
Okay, let's do it. Let's see. I will give you the upper hand because you're both sad. So you get to roll 3d6.
Misery loves company.
It's true.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, baby.
Okay, very good. With a 10, he looks thoughtful. He's essentially got his hands on the hilt of his sword so far. What do you say? How do you push it to where he will say yes?
And I suppose if this person, this undead person, this undead wretch, were to find a peaceful, not so peaceful end to their suffering, I would be disposed to offer a favor in exchange.
A favor.
relatively well connected, and are you a fan of the heron?
I was about to say he's gonna ask you for where the heron is. That is so fucking funny. Okay. His eyes immediately brighten. He raises his brows. The heron. I've been trying to hunt her for nearly 5 years now. You have a deal. Where can I find the heron?
After Vesuvius is dead.
He scowls and he says, I know of the trickery among our kind. I need guarantees.
Well, I suppose you can understand that I also need guarantees.
He scowls again, and Vontigern, not being one to play mind games, not one to be proficient in them, relents. He says, fine. And he begins to move closer. He abandons his cart behind him, and he puts his gloved hand out to you, as if to shake on it.
And I'll take his hand and give it a firm shake.
We have us an accord.
Fabulous, darling.
And without another word, he pulls his cart, and you hear the sound of wood scraping against the cobblestone as he disappears down the alleyway. What do you do? What do we see as you're left here, your tears still drying on your face, the dark?
I think Phaedra is starting to, like, calming down after that. They are very pleased with themselves about that. And is also now, the wheels are turning now to figure out how she's going to give the heron the head start.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Paloma, what downtime action do you like to take?
I would like to form a bond.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Okay. All right. You can set out to find a bond. Over the course of the session, take a friendly person and attempt to form a bond with them. It has to be someone that you have a special relationship with and have spent time with them. Which we can hand wave because this is a one-shot. So you have a couple of different methods you can use to approach. You can go all out, play it safe, or I can fix them.
It's a one shot, so I was gonna go all out.
Yeah, okay. Open up, be vulnerable, risk everything. Show them your naked heart, and then they will know you are worth their time and love. You need to make a display and some kind of grand gesture. It'll work out. It's hardly a risk at all. All right. You'll have to perform a single massive gesture of some kind. Who do you want to form a bond with?
I have to return that dress to that attendant. And why not? Just to reel that in, I think Paloma worked through the night to make a duplicate of that dress in a different color.
Ooh. Okay, what color?
A nice, like, powdery, a robin eggs blue, like a little lighter than that, treading the cyan. Once the morning is over, they have something nice to celebrate with.
Okay. Do you want to call on the attendant or do you want to go to them?
I'll go to them.
Okay. So they agreed to meet with you on, let's see. It's going to be like a nondescript corner and the edge of a marketplace. The market, is your intention to go in the middle of the night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the marketplace is empty. There's snow piling in various corners of it. There's a fountain that isn't on at the moment and it's essentially iced over. and she's agreed to meet near the fountain. There's no one else here. And we'll say that when you approach, she's already there.
Perfect. And noticeably, Paloma has 2 boxes, nearly identical to the other, possibly a different ribbon color, and they seem a little maljoyed and kind of like pretending to be very awkward and trying to balance these to at least get some attention and possibly some help.
Oh, let me help you. Immediately, she begins to stride forward.
Thank you. Oh, it's so dreadful, all this weight. And like slowly just teeters the second box into her arms.
Oh, she takes it and seems surprised, holding it for a moment, looking back up at you. What is this?
That one's yours, dear.
Her breath hitches and you see her eyes go wide. You see the blood flush to her face and her cheeks are pink. Let me get a roll here. Probably allure?
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to give you the upper hand here. So you get to roll 3d6 and you drop the lowest one.
I'm looking. Oh, there it is. That'll be a 13.
Okay. Oh my god. This game is so funny. If you pass, they become your bond. If you fail, they do not become your bond. You are emotionally devastated and immediately flatline.
Hey,
You get
what?
embarrassed to death.
That's such a vampire move, though.
But you
You're
pass.
so embarrassed you die.
Oh, that's
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
Oh my god. You pass. Okay. You see that there is wonder in her eyes. She can't say anything. She's so taken back, but you can hear her heart. It is wild. It is racing. It is thump, 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 thumping in your ears. Can you describe to me how is this you being vulnerable, risking everything in this moment with this gift?
This is their heart and soul, as far as anyone's concerned. Taking the time to make not only art, but make art for someone else, and being painstaking, remembering the curves and their measurements in their body just from a glance, and spending so much time, how focused they were as to who they were as a person. And they feel beyond overjoyed for this reaction.
You can see from the way that she opens the box, it's with careful reverence, pulling on the ribbon. You can almost hear it whispering with how quiet this moment is. She opens the box and her hands, equally gentle, play on the fabric, feeling the very well-crafted hems and the fabric that you've chosen for it. This is someone who knows a good thing when they see it, especially when it comes to tailoring. This is the finest thing I will have ever owned. Are you sure?
I mean, if our friendship is to continue, that will never be the only fine thing you have.
She hesitates, and then very carefully, she closes the box, puts it on the edge of the fountain, and she will try to kiss you.
Let's go.
She kisses you here in the moonlight. The sound of someone wailing, ugly crying in the distance. But you don't hear that. It's too far away to be your problem. And you have a sweet and tender kiss where you can feel her heartbeat against your lips. You have formed a bond. Her name is Anne. She has a last name. Anne Bell. Yeah, I'll write that down. Okay. And this is a moment to remember. we pull out as we leave the downtime phase. And we will go to the last phase of the game, which is consequences. Let's have a last moment of everyone joining together after your various activities. And for fun, we'll have it at Paloma's place. That's where you all decided to meet.
Noticeably, when I show up, there is paint. There are paint splotches in different parts of my outfit. At this point, like I'm stained with it.
Noticeably, my makeup is all fucked up. Well,
My hair is tousled at best.
Yeah, Phaedra's makeup is messed up for a different reason.
Jesus Christ.
well, that was quite the party.
You're not gonna like this, Nicodemus, so please.
Oh, hold on,
Control
wait, hold on. What?
yourself.
Do you have a drink? Do you have a drink? Can I get a drink before this?
I think you can get earmuffs, perhaps. Some cotton.
Here, and Cruella will pass you a cigar.
Oh, okay.
We'll cut it for you. Okay, so you're not gonna like this.
Huh?
I went to Vesuvius's Colosseum.
Just like the whole cigar.
All of it in one go.
Just like really like Tom and Jerry, all of the cigar.
It is a party. It is a party. I will say it is a party, and I cannot deny that.
Betrayal.
No, I went for us in order to help us be better prepared for what we're about to do. It's better to know your enemy than to walk in without the invite. Don't, bitch. That
You
is
left my-
childish.
you
How
You left my
many
party
centuries?
to go to his.
How
You
many
left my party to
centuries
go to
have you
his.
been alive, Nicodemus?
One and a
Please.
half.
And yet you behave as if you've been alive for only a half.
Look, I was it better than mine?
Nicodemus, you don't ask questions.
That should have been a very easy answer.
No, it's not better than yours. Your party is you throw the best parties, Nicodemus.
Just go on. How was a shitty party?
It was fine. It was just fine, and yours are better than fine. You know that. But I met an artist there who was able to give me an invitation to the Colosseum and extended invitations to my friends, which are all three of you. So now we don't have to we don't have to break into the Colosseum, which would be difficult to do anyway, and we can just waltz right in to steal from Vesuvius.
Well, thank you, crew. That is very nice. No subterfuge at the door.
Thank you.
There we
Yes.
That's
That's
so elegant.
It's just
Such a good
having
girl.
a formal invitation to. It's like being invited to like a 13-year-old's birthday party, just shrieking and children running, and it's like there's just it's I just
How many children's birthday parties have you been to?
I've some one. I had to host a singular coming of age birthday party. It was nothing. They can't drink. What is it like? What is that? What is that? That's a tea party. I don't host tea parties.
They do like tea here.
I know.
I hear that Boston throws very good tea parties, actually.
Don't
Really?
think the British are quite
Really?
fond of Boston anymore. Some sort of breakup? I don't know.
It's.
I don't pay attention.
Not me
Oh,
googling when was the boss.
I honestly don't know if this is accurate historically,
no,
whether
this
that has
is.
happened
Oh,
yet.
That,
It,
yeah,
it
no,
happened, right?
that was
Okay,
in the
cool,
70s.
cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
Just
it was
like I was
pre-70s.
like, I'm psychic. I know that it happened.
I guess while we're sharing information, I sucked off gluttony, and in exchange, he may be willing to help us in some way, shape, or form with his contacts and such.
I have a question that I'm not gonna ask because
Me
it's not
too.
street
Was it
appropriate.
good? No,
No,
it
that
was
wasn't the
disgusting.
question.
I also
Oh,
had
okay.
specific questions that I can't at this table.
Understood. Understood. I mean, at any we'll be around later. You can ask whatever you. I don't care. I'll kiss and tell all I want. I was the other half of the kiss.
Gonna
Yes,
reserve that
Paloma,
Question
you-
too. No, no, no.
Look,
No,
look.
no,
Write your
no.
questions down, and if you want to ask it later, just let me know.
Does anybody else Phaedra, you look like, well, similar to Nicodemus. Did you also have a
Have a what?
sucking?
No, not this time.
Between all the
Um,
tears, I imagine it would have been hard.
Tears? What happened?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, they were crying.
Well, now I'm
could-
worried about
We could
it.
hear it all
Now
around
the
the
three of
you
us
couldn't.
are
No, you
worried
couldn't.
about.
Phaedra, I
No, you
might have.
couldn't.
My mouth might have been full, but my ears were wide open. Everyone could hear.
No, they couldn't.
Yes, they.
No, they
dear.
couldn't. Anyway, do you know the intrepid
Oh.
hunter? He's going to kill Vesuvius for us.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
You should be nicer to me. I do nice things for you all the time.
Look, I'm sorry. It's okay if you're crying. It's fine. Crying is good. That's what
No,
parties
it's
are
not.
for. Parties are for getting out all kinds of emotion, not just joyous ones.
Is this about, is this about, you know who, again?
Sappho and I are fine.
Art!
That is
she's-
not the
she's-
word someone who
honey,
is
she's
fine
dead.
said.
Even mentioned her.
Yeah.
She could be a vampire. We don't know.
Oh dear.
See, okay, the fact that you
Question.
are obsessed with your ex is really...
Would you rather her have been a vampire and been alive all this time and never reached out, or dead?
Yes, dear, tell me, would you rather that your ex-lover that you're obsessed with is still around?
All those poems are about me, you know.
I believe you.
That doesn't really answer the
Absolutely.
question, though.
I feel like this is not the important part of the story that I told.
Yeah, no, the hunter. Yes.
Mhm.
To kill Vesuvius. That was
It's
quite-
important to me, but-
Vontigern.
okay.
Vontigern is let's say I'm doing a little favor for him, not quite the same brand of favor as you are interested in Nico, but yes. Yes. He'll be killing Vesuvius tonight, and I think
Oh.
it would be great if we could all watch.
I would love to watch.
What about you, Paloma?
I have no hero there. It's fine.
Nothing? You got up to nothing after the part? For doing it?
I did my job.
Hard worker, Paloma, you always are. Maybe
You-
some of us could learn a thing or two from you.
Oh,
Mm.
perhaps.
I think
speaking
Paloma should
of-
take a break, if anything.
You take breaks for both of us, I'm sure. I was going to say, with our various states, do we need anything? Outfits? I have everything, unfortunately.
Do you mean various states? I look great.
We could dress up.
Or Weeping Woman, yes, but not in general terms.
What does one wear to watch a man get eviscerated?
Usually funerary attire. But there's already been an abundance of that, so.
This feels more like a celebration to me.
I would like those little opera glasses that people seem so fond of.
Ooh,
Perfect.
I have a
Yes,
pair.
I
I
have-
can. I
yes.
could. Yes. We look. How about we look in the wardrobe and we do like a fun little like dress up, and like, you know, one person walks into the wardrobe, they come out, and we all give either nods of approval or shake our heads no if we don't like it.
Nicodemus is like, fashion show before the murder.
Fashion show before the. Come on, if we're going to go watch a Roman get killed for the first time, and I don't know how long the Roman Empire's been dead, but because that was before my time, and I'm rather uneducated.
I do forget that you're a baby.
I'll Google it for you.
I am not a baby. I'm a grown man.
Comparatively,
Person,
darling,
woman,
comparatively.
Whatever. Oh, come on. I guess
It's a
I'm
very
older
long
than the
time ago.
Romans.
some of us were born in this millennia.
How unfortunate for you.
Truly.
Yes, truly.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
as
would've
the group
shown.
of you perform your outfit changes, we'll say that you're standing on the edge of Regent Park here. So you see the Colosseum before you, and we get a cinematic shot of all of you in your wardrobe changes. And it is lightly snowing here. What do you look like?
All right, Corilla is wearing a very, let's say, like steampunk, like clock inspired outfit. There is a lot of like metallic finishings to it. It is now a pantsuit. So there are like very finely pressed pants, this shirt, a jacket, and all of the sort of like embroidery on it is reminiscent of like a big like clock face. And their hair is up, tied up, and in it they have like quite literally like the hands of a clock like in there as like hairpins, kind of keeping it up. And she is wearing like a small little hat, like a small little top hat kind of situation, and has a cane that isn't actually like a cane, but has imagine like a sword cane, except it's a giant paintbrush or like a giant kind of like like thing, and the cane itself has paint in it, so that Corilla has the capacity to vandalize at a moment's notice without anybody recognizing what's going on. Is
You
kind of
invented
like prepared.
Splatoon.
I did, yeah. They're Splatoon right here. My character is a Splatoon character. And I
1872 invention of Splatoon.
and it's all very like copper and like dark metals in that kind of way, so it's not ideally it doesn't like draw too much attention in that way.
It is dark enough that it wouldn't, but it is edgy enough that it just is perfect. What does Nicodemus wear?
I am not trying to not have people look at me. And so I am wearing this bright, or actually not bright, but like vibrant, like forest green, like French like coat with a golden waistcoat underneath it, or I guess tailcoat, and then like a golden like waistcoat, with like deep brown like breeches and like riding boots, and I'm not wearing like a shirt underneath the waistcoat, so it's just like bare chested. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm fully wearing the tailcoat, as much as it is over my arms or over my shoulders. Wearing it appropriate appropriate eyeshadow and lip to go with it as well, and like super wide brimmed hat with red feathers atop it. And I also have a cane. Why not? Not a brush cane, just a
Is it a
regular
real
cane.
cane? What kind of cane?
It's just like it's like a silver like walking cane.
Excellent. What about Phaedra?
Phaedra. Oh, why not? Phaedra is in a deep red, a deep red toga with golden laurel leaves like in their hair. It is like the closest you like when you think slutty toga, it's that.
Ooh.
And it's very scandalous for Victorian era.
I can't stop looking.
And they also have little opera glasses.
Yes. And last but definitely not least, Paloma.
She's taking a note from the opera glasses to do a night at the opera in mourning, just absolutely decadent, in silks and shimmering, dark midnight colors, but in mourning. We're still going to be in vogue for the time period, but extravagant in sorrow.
As the four of you are standing there, we move into consequences. Work out amongst the characters who has the highest chaos. In the event of a tie, you do a roll off. The winner chooses if they want the consequences to happen to them or not. So this will be a roll off between Nicodemus and Phaedra.
Let's go.
So
Are
both-
we rolling?
Roll me a d20 each.
Oh,
Ooh.
D20. Okay, good. I almost rolled a D6.
Chances are a lot higher of
Yeah.
rolling
You'd
the same
lose
number.
immediately.
Yeah. Oh, not necessarily. I got a 13.
Got an 11.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So I will roll for every 2 chaos you have. So that's 3 times. I'll roll 3d8. Okay. So number 2, a hostile faction enacts a scheme. For the intents of this one shot, I will say the clock moves forward with mysterious boatman. Okay. Number 6, reveal a new contact whose immediately arrival. As the various things are about to happen, we see Vesuvius step outside of his home, and he sees the 4 of you in the distance before his immediate attention is drawn away from a guest, unexpected. And then number 7, a hostile contact or faction makes trouble for one of the other characters, and their chaos increases by 3. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick on Paloma here because your chaos is the lowest. So go ahead and roll me a d3, please. Or if you don't have a d3, you could do a d6 and just have it.
That's what I'll do.
Okay. So a 5 will be a 3. Okay, so your chaos increases by 3. We'll say that someone appears and will essentially bring out the monster in you. Who do you think that this is? What kind of person would bring out the monster in you?
I think for maximum sillies, it is gluttony demanding a rush order. Seeing that they're friends with Nicodemus, they think they're friends with the rest of the party, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yes. We'll say that as the group of you were leaving to head over towards Regent Park, the glutton, had seen the group of you leaving, caught eye as they were leaving Nicodemus's party. And in the morning, Paloma, you will find an ostentatious, rude, demanding, entitled message from the glutton saying that they need to have the most precious suit right away. You need to drop everything that you're doing, or your shop will suffer the consequences. So, I will have one last roll from everyone to see how everything plays out. Go ahead and do a stat check. You can choose the stat and tell me what happens. We'll narrate the end of the story together with your various inputs. And we'll start off with Gorilla. You have an inn, you know the layout. What do you want to do with this? We'll say that Vontigern is there with you, so you can point him wherever you want him to go.
I rolled a 12. I've been rolling very well tonight, which is so
Yeah.
unusual for me. This game likes me, I think. But I think given that the others are far more invested in Vesuvius's death than I am, I will allow them to take point on that, so to speak. And while there is the chaos of all of the violence that is occurring in the London Coliseum, I will slip away without being noticed. That is the point of part of my outfit, and using my paint cane, I will walk about the walls of the London Coliseum, singing to myself and painting the different murals, the art pieces, the statues, adding my own little touch to them with, well, I mean, I like to do a nice thing for Phaedra every now and then, and I will add lines from her own poems, their writings, and whatnot here and there. And then, in addition to that, just absolutely blasphemous messages about the monarchy and how it doesn't deserve the power that it has, and just working myself up the whole time as I'm doing it, and the writings and the vandalism becomes more erratic and more manic and more dangerous, and then there's property damage, there's tears in paintings, there's statues broken off, and you can kind of see as you walk through the Colosseum like where these escalations are happening.
I love it so much. All right, Nicodemus. How do you end your night?
I'm trying to find the most humiliating way for this to go, because yes, he's going to die tonight. Yes, his name may be besmirched, but I truly don't know if that is enough for Vesuvius.
You want some more time to think, and you want me to talk to someone else?
Yeah. Give me
Okay.
give me some more time.
Yeah.
Give me some more
Okay.
time.
Phaedra. You have Vontigern at your disposal. You have all the information gathered by your companions. You get to do one more thing tonight. What would you like to do?
So I rolled a 12. And I think Phaedra missed the murder of Caesar and has always been kind of annoyed about it. So I think they to Vontigern's chagrin, I think they insist on getting one good stab in before Vontigern takes it away.
Okay. Yeah. He'll basically like pull open his cart, and you'll find all of the Banes there. And among them is a dagger made out of yew wood. And this is incredibly dangerous. This will end someone, even one of you. And he says, "You can borrow this, but I need it back."
On my unlife.
Okay. So we'll have that occur after Nicodemus's thing. Paloma, you get to do one more thing tonight as you are joined here with your companions. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to set the stage for Cruella's deception, or at least take some eyes off of them so they can go vandalize. They are going to bring the most disgusting, most soiled cloth they could find for the glutton's suit and make a grand display out of it. And by grand display, calling his name, singing his praises, and then throwing it directly into his face.
Oh, this happens right outside the Colosseum, and there are people wandering out from the party there to behold this. And there is shock, there is awe as this happens. There's a wet slap as this suit hits the glutton, falls on the ground. I will need a roll from you. What do you want to roll?
I have very low savagery, but I do have hideous beast.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. Hideous Beast. Hideous Beast is your power of undeath. You're absolutely terrifying and can scare the daylights out of anyone. Activate this power to gain the upper hand on checks to terrify, intimidate, or blackmail for the rest of the scene. Even before this, people will fear you. Okay, so go ahead and roll savagery at 3d6 plus 0.
All right. Right on the line, that's a 9.
Okay. With a 9, tell me how you absolutely socially crush the glutton here. What happens?
They stand rather proud, almost like a matador just fucking with the bull. And as soon as the glutton like tries to retaliate or come within possibly a yard, they just take on this truly monstrous form. The skin shrinks, the eyes are like voids with a sharp pin of red, perhaps like the last glimmer of the soul she has. Uh, Teeth are monstrous, hands are claws, but it's only visible to him.
Everyone's watching, and they aren't quite sure what's going to happen next, but the glutton stumbles. He doesn't breathe, he doesn't blink, he beholds you, and he is halfway down to his knees as he watches in terror. He shakes, he seems uncertain of whether he should take it with him or leave it there, and instead he decides to just run, humiliated. And the crowd laughs. They don't see this visage of you, they just see Paloma. And they laugh, and they laugh. There's scattered clapping. And then they go back to the party.
Perfect.
All right, Nicodemus, it is time. This person has the audacity to throw a party the same time as you. This deserves punishment. What do you do?
I know that early on we already said we wouldn't do this. However, like every Roman pantheon before it, I feel that there is truly only one good ending for the dear home of Vesuvius. But I don't want to, rush anything, and I do not want to ruin anyone's good time, so I take it upon myself, while everything is happening, to slink off into a dark place where I've stored away some flammable liquid of some kind. I have many liquors at my disposal, and, well, I just, throughout the party, pour a little here, break a bottle there, and, well, when things seem to be at a height, and, it seems like, we're about to go on the, when a party reaches its peak and it's like, it's only down here from here, everyone's too drunk, and, like, nothing. How could this get better? Well, let's say I throw a match on to things, and I would like to burn down this building. I said I wanted to do it before, and we had kind of walked around it and said we wouldn't do it, but honestly, I'm feeling a little burny tonight.
Okay.
So
I'll need a roll from you.
Mm-hmm.
So this sounds like savagery to me.
I would, yeah. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8.
Okay. You can get the blood running if you want. Or you can take the L.
Well, I'm already at max chaos, so we'd have to find a way to really, really double down on what I'm doing here, right?
So what will happen here is, since you're at max chaos, by pushing past the boundary,
Mhm.
Essentially, you're going to make a name for yourself. People are going to be talking about this. There's no helping it.
No, that's okay. I'm okay. You know what? And I will double down because you know what? I didn't just say I wanted to burn down his home. I said I wanted to burn down his home and fuck in its ashes. Um, and so I'll find someone, whoever's willing at the time, whoever's, feeling the party, sees the fire going and just wants to keep it going. Maybe we find a nice spot right out there in the open. And I'm already not wearing a shirt on this fest, so it's very easy to. Honestly, I'll just tear it off. Who cares? And
Perfect.
yeah, we fuck right here as the building burns down around us, and
All right. So you
yeah.
get to re-roll as many dice as you like.
I'll re-roll this 3.
I will just point out you were getting dangerously close to a bane. Burning alive is a
Yes.
bane.
Yup.
I'm aware. I'm at 6 chaos, baby. Let's let it ride. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10.
Okay, so this will be successful. So this is what happens. Kurilla goes about with the vandalism, marking, spoiling, and defacing this landmark permanently. Or semi-permanent? Permanently. Yeah, the reputation is permanently destroyed. Absolutely. And you happen to do this with such dexterity and ease that you are just a shadow. No one sees you. No one puts eyes on you as you're doing this. But the party does see it in the wake of you. After you've left a room, there are gasps. People are talking about it. It has been witnessed. And you all begin to smell smoke. A fire. Immediately, undead begin to rush away in absolute fear. Some of the more bold, some of the older undead, they've been around fire. Yes, it's the equivalent of a sword to the throat, but you know what? Why not live a little? So Nicodemus is just literally fucking in front of the fire. Backlit, it's warm. It melts the snow. You feel alive. And there's a moment as a room is surrounded by fire. There's an exit, you can get out. But essentially, curtains are on fire. Phaedra, you are standing there next to Vontigern. Vontigern has pinned down Vesuvius, and there's nowhere for them to go. You have the dagger in hand. What do you want to do here? What do you want to say?
You really should have seen this coming. And I would like to stab with enough force that I impale both of them.
Oh my god, yes! Okay, you stab them both, flatten them. It's just enough. And it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. We see Vontigern bodily holding them down. You're able to smash it through his back into the chest of Vesuvius. Describe to me what it looks like when the curse of undeath is unmade. You get to tell the story here.
Oh, jeez. I think for all of the misery of undeath, it's actually quite peaceful, almost. It's like falling asleep. And then slowly but surely turning to dust. Well, faster than normal.
You see the two of them writhing in pain, and then they are silent. There's quiet. All you hear is the cackling of flame as it consumes the fabric around you. There's heat on your brow. You feel sweat for the first time in a long time. You see them literally blow away. And you have in your hand one of the deadliest things the undead could possess. What do you do next?
Go to take Vontigern's cart.
I love it. And we will follow Phaedra as Phaedra just takes a cart full of banes and monster slaying things into the bloody streets of London. And that is where we're going to end our session for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much again to SoulMuppet Publishing for an awesome, very, very cool game, and also for this sponsored one-shot. We are going to go around and do some outros here. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of the session was today. And we will start off with Vin.
Oh my gosh, hi again. Hi, I'm Vin at VinVoxVA on Twitter. If you want to see me actually be a little professional, that'll be vinvox.com, where you have my resume, my studio specs, my demo reels, because I'm a voice actor. Isn't that cool? My favorite moment would have to be just these chuckle fucks together and conversating and just being talkative little bitches. They were so much fun. I love these characters so much. And thank you, Stella, for having us. This has been great, and I cannot wait to have this book in my hands because, we're going to paint the town red.
Oh, thank you. We'll pop on over to Quinn.
Hi, hello, it's me. I'm Quinn. Waha. I don't know why I made a little Korok noise there. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm introducing myself. I do stuff and also things. You can find me on the hell site that was formerly known as Twitter, at Quintastic_. That is 3 N's. I had to count them myself, and an underscore. And there's links to like my website and stuff if you would like to see what else I do there. Oh, my favorite part of the session. Can I say all of it? Is that cheating?
That's not cheating.
Yay!
You can say whatever you want.
It's all of it. Yay! I like my friends.
Thank you very much. I will pop on over to Kendo.
Hello, my name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Kendo Makes Films, and my actual play podcast at Tales Get Told, and wherever you get your podcasts. My favorite thing in this, it was all very good. I don't know. I loved our dynamic as a group of vampires. I was trying to find an adjective that fit, but there were just so many that went through my head that not a singular one could do. I love being vampires with you. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. And then last but certainly not least, we've got Hamna.
Hello, my name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. If you enjoy my work and want to see more of me, you can find me all over the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. I am currently on a God Killer stream over on Taino Tales every Thursday night. If you want to see me play a regular ass bitch who also somehow happens to have the power to kill gods, and what I do with that. Today was really, really fun. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say 3 favorite parts. 1, Nicodemus fucking in the ashes. Goddamn. 2, Paloma's sweet little romance scene. And then 3, Phaedra's freak out about Sappho, and then somehow turning that into getting us an assassin. I was not expecting that turn of events. Yeah, and thank you so much, Stella, for everything today. I really enjoyed being here.
Very much. I enjoyed having every one of you too. Hi everyone, I'm Stelluna on Twitch, Stelluna TV on all other social media. I'm a TTRPG producer and performer, so I just do this all the time. If you want to see more of this, you can follow me on Twitter. That's usually where I post all my updates and also casting calls. So if you ever want to play in something like this, just hit me up. Follow me on social media, head into the Discord. That's where you'll find the casting calls generally. And my favorite part, okay, I was not expecting the double. Okay, I knew that Phaedra was gonna do something with it, but I should have seen it coming. I really should have seen it. Phaedra literally said that, but that was chef's kiss. Very well done. I absolutely loved every single one of these characters, and they brought so much life into this setting. And this is such a wonderful game. Thank you so much, SoulMuppet Publishing, for letting us test run this and literally drive it like we stole it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That will be it for us. Please have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.